The Archway by Dewey, Pettet. Hedwyn Morgan almost walked right by the archway. But there it was, smack dab in the middle of all these people. Hedwyn walked closer. On the other side of the arch, it appeared that there was no crowd of people gawking at the many actors dressed as Renaissance-era musicians and jugglers. It was just an empty field. As she crept even closer, she saw that it was also deathly quiet on the other side. The noise of the crowd faded slightly as she got closer to the arch, close enough that she could see carvings in the wooden frame. Above and to the sides of the frame, there seemed to be a door missing, were stones. The whole thing looked ancient. She looked again at the field beyond. Nothing seemed different about the field except for it being empty. The only other difference between what was around her and what was behind the arch was the absence of people. The quiet of whatever was beyond the arch was unnerving. However, the thought of stepping through began to tempt her, because then she would know what was on the other side. She looked back at all of the people around her, then back at the arch, which dominated the field with its massive size. The crowd seemed oblivious to the archway. In fact, the crowd of people didn't seem to be aware of it at all. But they didn't walk through or around it either. Hedwyn wondered why that would be. Should she step through it? For some reason, the thought was tempting. Then again, the noise of the crowd had been bothering her anyway. The buzz of talk and the yells of the vendor barkers had made her brain buzz. She wondered what would happen. Would she disappear? Would she go somewhere else? Where does this arch lead? Then she remembered something about doorways. Something, what was it? She couldn't remember. It was in a book, but which book was it? Oh yes, the book about fairies. Then it clicked. It was about thresholds. And that thresholds are a barrier between one world and another, between this world and the next. And that when you cross thresholds, you can put yourself in danger. So you have to protect yourself with special things, like charms and maybe with thinking about what you want, or you could think of a person. She reached under her shirt and pulled out her necklace, which had fallen under the collar. It was a triquetra, believed by some to protect against malevolent fairies. Her mother had left it to her. Now maybe she needed it. So she closed her eyes and tried to clear her mind as best she could. She thought of her mother. Hedwyn willed herself to think of where she might be. Where in the other world? What should she do? The noise of the crowd kept getting louder, which was giving her a headache. She was having a harder and harder time with the noise. And the temptation to walk through the arch got worse and worse. She stood, staring at the archway. No one seemed to notice her standing there. No one seemed to care about her agony. Hedwyn clutched her head as the buzz got louder. She winced as her ears ringed with the pain. She couldn't take it much longer, but there was no way out. No one was going to help her. She had to help herself. So she jumped through the arch. Her head and ears were still buzzing, but there was silence. The noise was gone. Thank you for watching.